Hello, Tassa.
Hello, Scott.
It's great having you here on the first day of rehearsals for Swallow the Lake. How has it been going?
It's been a really lovely first day, thank you.
So, I'm new to the Mercury and I've been here 4 months, and when I first arrived, your play was given to me to read, and it would be the first production that I'd be producing here at the Mercury as the new work producer. And obviously you were part of our writers programme and tour the writer with Plains Pal, and it would be amazing to hear a little bit about what inspired you to write the play.
Well, I wrote it in response to the 2024 riots that happened, so it's quite a recent piece of work that I was working on, and I know that there are these really interesting stories that kind of deal with identity and racism, but I kind of wanted to tell a story that wasn't a binary one, that sort of found those nuances, because I've also found that conversations about race and identity were quite tricky when talking about the ways that we all kind of get it wrong. So I wanted to be able to have a conversation where it was okay to get it wrong.
So where is the play set?
That's a very good question, because the play moves around the UK. Partly that was to do with the response to the riots and how these things rose up in different parts of the country. Partly that's my background moving around. But most of the play is set in East Anglia, and I'm local, and I think it's really important to represent this part of the world, which I don't think gets enough representation on stage, and also to write about what you know about and understand about. And I just love having landscapes and places that I know well feature in my writing. I think it gives the history of that place and those locations an opportunity to also be an integral part of the story. And I have a thing about having landscapes also speak back, if that makes any sense.
What can audiences expect from the play?
They can expect to have a journey through the 90s and the noughties. They can expect to see a love story unfold, and hopefully come away being able to have difficult conversations about difficult subject matter, but also hopefully have a lovely time, because there's a lot of humour throughout the piece as well. See if you can spot the moment that twiglets get mentioned.
What was the journey like from having that initial idea to then developing it and then getting to rehearsals today? How many drafts have you gone through? What was that process like?
Yeah, it was, I think for Theatreland, from what I understand, it's quite a speedy process, which I think is quite lucky, because it feels like this is an idea that's at the top of my mind, so the sort of creative process could kind of keep going. I think it's probably about 5 drafts in total to get to the rehearsal draft, and even now in our first day of rehearsals, I'm seeing the little ways that I might want to tweak it here and there. So it's definitely a collaborative process, and I think what's really interesting is seeing the different things that have come into the piece and hearing it with the actors. And although it's about those issues, actually it's about the complexities of relationships and how we're all complicated humans, and that's sort of very much a part of it too.
What was it like being on the Mercury Creators Writers Programme, and how has that contributed towards your development as a writer?
It was a really wonderful year to be a part of. There was a lovely collaborative feel with the group that I was a part of, but also the mentorship that I received was really integral to the play actually happening at all and being written. I felt incredibly supported. I feel like my learning has exponentially grown, and I'm really thankful that I was a part of it. You can't do these things on your own, especially making theatre and being a theatre writer. What people don't see behind the scenes is how many people are coming behind you and backing you, and how many people are really a massive part of the development of you as a writer, but also of the work.
What would your advice be to any aspiring writers who have maybe got an idea but are yet to start writing that script?
I think the main thing, first of all, is seeing yourself as important and seeing that story as important. And then I know that everyone is time poor. Writing is a really difficult industry to get into. Theatre is a difficult industry to get into. So it's about, first of all, backing yourself and then finding the support around you. That's the second thing. But first of all, see yourself as an important voice, and your story is an important story that needs to be told.